A married couple, Takashi and Machiko, step out of an elevator, confused and unaware of where they are. As they move forward, they see a silent bartender named Dekim. He invites them to sit down and asks if they remember how they got there. Takashi recalls that they were on their honeymoon, and then the memory fades. Dekim explains that they must play a game, with their lives at stake. Naturally, the couple refuses and tries to find a way out, but every door is locked. With no escape, they return to Dekim and ask what happens if they refuse to play. In response, he shows them a hidden room filled with black hanging silhouettes. Then, he places a red button in front of them. When they press it, a roulette wheel spins and selects their game, darts. The rules are cruel. Each section of the dartboard is linked to a different organ in the opponent's body. A hit causes real pain in that area. Whoever scores more points wins. Takashi goes first and hits the muscles in Machiko's right shoulder. She responds by hitting his stomach. Frustrated, Takashi lashes out at Dekim, who calmly explains that if they don't want to hurt each other, they can just miss. But fear of what losing might mean pushes them forward. The game continues. Machiko accidentally hits Takashi's eyes, which enrages him. She apologizes and begs him not to aim at vital organs. From this, he realizes she's pregnant, and his anger cools. But another memory flashes through his mind, suspicion that she may have cheated on him. Machiko, meanwhile, remembers their happy moments, but also the growing emotional distance between them. Tension builds. Takashi accuses her of infidelity, and then she admits it. Yes, she's pregnant, but the baby isn't his. Devastated, Takashi tries to attack her, but Dasim steps in and stops him. When the game ends, Dekim reveals the truth. They both died in a car crash, one fueled by Takashi's jealousy. The game was a judgment of their souls to decide what comes next. Without a word, they each walk through a separate door, each leading to their final fate. A black-haired woman wakes up in an unknown place. She meets a girl named Nona, who tells her that it's okay not to remember her name. Nona takes her to a bar called Queen Dekim, where they meet Dekim. He is not just a bartender, he is an arbiter, someone who judges people after death. Nona explains that this place is where people go when they die. They don't know they're dead, and they are asked to play a game that will show their true nature. Based on what happens in the game, Dasim decides their fate. Nona introduces the black-haired woman as Dekim's new assistant. They go to a room with mannequins. Dekim says it's just a hobby. Then, through a screen, they watch the dart game between the couple. Nona explains that the people who arrive here forget about their death. That's on purpose. If they knew they were dead, they wouldn't play the game seriously. The assistant notices that the couple doesn't want to hurt each other and tries to miss on purpose. But Nona says fear of death pushes people to act differently. That fear shows who they really are inside. She also explains that memories alone aren't enough. The game is needed to truly judge a soul. At the end of the game, Dekim makes his judgment. Takashi will be reincarnated, Machiko will fall into the void. But the assistant feels something is wrong. She thinks Machiko might have lied about cheating, just to make Takashi feel less guilty before moving on. Dekim never thought of that possibility. It surprises him. Nona reminds Dekim that even arbiters can make mistakes. She says it's dangerous to ignore human emotions when judging people. Later, Nona leaves, and in the elevator, she talks with Clavis, saying she's curious about the new assistant. She wonders if she might be special. At the end, Dekim quietly apologizes to his assistant, saying he may have judged too quickly. He admits that judging people is hard, and he respects those who lived honest lives. Two new guests arrive at the Quindekum bar, a young man named Shigeru and a quiet girl who can't remember her name. Dekim tells them they must play a game to decide what happens to their souls. The game is chosen at random. This time it's bowling, but it's not a normal game. Each bowling ball contains the other person's heart, and the ball beats with their emotions. As they play, Shigeru and the girl begin to feel more comfortable. They even enjoy the game. Shigeru starts to remember a little. He was on a bus coming back from college. The girl slowly remembers her name, Chisato Miyazaki. That name means something to Shigeru. They were childhood friends. But soon, the girl realizes something shocking. She's not Chisato, she's actually Mai Takada, another girl from their childhood. She had plastic surgery to look like Chisato because she had loved Shigeru for a long time and wanted to get close to him again. Instead of being angry, Shigeru smiles. He tells her it doesn't matter. He invites her on a date, just one, since they don't have much time left. At the end of the episode, Dekim allows them to share a few more peaceful moments together. Then both walk through the doors leading to reincarnation, smiling and holding on to the warmth of their final memories. Two new people arrive at the Quindesim bar, Misaki Tachibana, a reality TV star, and Yusuke Tateishi, a quiet young man. Misaki thinks this is just another hidden camera show, so she convinces Yusuke to play along. He agrees. Dekim explains that they must play a game to decide their fate. The game is an arcade-style fighting game where they control characters that look like themselves. Whoever gets more points wins. In the first round, Yusuke wins easily. Misaki asks him to go easy in the next round to make the game more exciting. exciting. But when Yusuke starts to win again, Dekum secretly breaks his controller. Misaki wins the second round. Then both players slowly remember their past lives. Yusuke remembers his parents' divorce and his stepmother, who tried to care for him, but he never accepted her. He was lonely and sad, and in the end, he jumped out of a window and died. Misaki remembers her hard life as a single mother. She had many failed relationships and focused more on herself than her kids. Her manager, tired of her attitude, ended up killing her. In the final round, Misaki's controller also starts to glitch. She panics, thinking she's about to lose, and hits the arcade machine hard. Yusuke falls unconscious. Misaki begs Daisum to call for help, but he only cares about finishing the game, so she continues to play and tries to win. But Yusuke wakes up, they fight until they both land the final hit at the same time. The match ends in a draw. After the game, Misaki breaks down. She realizes she'll never see her children again. Yusuke also cries, thinking about the stepmother he pushed away. Dekum gives his judgment. Yusuke is sent to be reborn. Misaki is sent to the void. The assistant has a dream about a boy who falls in love with a girl, but because she is deaf, he can't confess his feelings to her. When she wakes up, she goes to Dekum and sees that the same girl from her dream is on the roulette wheel. Soon, new visitors arrive, but Dekum notices something is off. The man sits at the bar, suddenly remembering he has been there before, and decides he doesn't want to play anymore. He grabs the boy and threatens to kill him if they don't let him go. Dekum manages to disarm him, but in the process, the boy knocks out the assistant. It turns out the boy is actually Genti, another judge who doesn't like Dekum because he once failed to pass a verdict on the assistant. It turns out her name is Yuki, and when she came to the bar, she already knew about her death. Because of this, Dekum couldn't make a decision about her case. Yuki erased her memories to delay the verdict. They start to fight, but another woman arrives with a lift operator and stops them. She explains that it was all just a test. The man who came was just a regular puppet. The Information Bureau processes people's memories and sends them to judges before their arrival. But this time, Dekum had accepted the puppet as the man, although he was supposed to cancel the judgment. This meant that he failed the test. After that, they left. Dekum was given a 3-day break, so now we see how Ginty will judge instead. Harada is a famous member of a music group, and Mayu is his crazy fan who always dreamed of meeting him. They both arrive at Ginty's bar, and he starts a new game. This time, it's Twister. At first, everything goes well. Mayu is just happy to be near Harada. They play regular Twister, but soon Ginty decides to make it harder. With each move they make, the game board changes, and it becomes more difficult to play. Soon they step on the yellow circle and all other circles disappear. Only the ones they're standing on remain. The goal now is to stay standing as long as possible. While playing, they start remembering how they died. Mayu remembers that she slipped on soap and hit her head. Harada had a darker past. He was a womanizer who didn't treat his fans seriously. One of his ex-girlfriends couldn't take the breakup and ended her life. Her sister took revenge by leaving a bomb after spending the night with Harada. Even so, Mayu was thankful to Harada for giving her strong emotions, so she decided to sacrifice herself for him. Harada didn't want anything more to do with fans, but he still tried to save her. However, Mayu had made up her mind and jumped. It turns out the fall was fake. The spikes below were just soft inflatables. When they meet again in the bar, a cat suddenly jumps on Mayu. Because of this, Ginty can't give a final judgment, so he puts the decision on hold for now. After judging guests, Dekum finds a storybook that Chiyuki often sees in her dreams. The book was left by Quinn, a former bartender at the Quindesum bar. She was the one who brought Dekum there to train. As a teacher, she showed him a game she made and gave him a remote to control the game's rules. But Dacium didn't use it because he focused on the player's emotions, not just the rules. This impressed Quinn. Nona moved her to the Information Bureau, but Quinn says it's even harder there. So many people die, and she has to watch their memories all the time. Dekum shows Chiyuki something very important to him, the mannequins that hold the souls of the dead during judgment. Most judges throw them away, but Dekum keeps them and dresses them like the people he once judged. Later we meet Oculus, a powerful figure who might become God. He often plays pool with Nona, but always loses. He starts to suspect that Nona is hiding something, and she is. She's doing an experiment. Judges are not human, but she gave Decim emotions to see what would happen. Two new guests arrive at the bar. Both are killers. One is Shimada, a young man with a sad past. The other is a detective named Tatsumi. While they explore, Shimada finds a bloody knife in his bag. They agree to play air hockey. During the game, they slowly remember their lives. Shimada worked hard to support his younger sister. One day, she was assaulted. The police couldn't help, so Shimada wanted revenge. Tatsumi remembers his wife was murdered, and he also wanted revenge. As the game goes on, Dekum changes the rules. Now, every puck hit hurts an organ shown on it. Then, it's revealed that Tatsumi was actually the second man involved in Shimada's sister's case. He didn't attack her, but he watched and and did nothing. After Shimada killed the first man, he found this out and killed Tatsumi too, at his sister's request. Now he wants to hurt Tatsumi again. Chiyuki begs him to stop. Shimada breaks the puck instead. Both are sent to the void. After this, Daikam talks with Nona about justice. He thinks extreme situations don't show the true self, they create darkness in people. Nona asks Daikam to now judge Chiyuki. Her time is short, she's human, and soon her soul will fade. Daikam starts the judgment with Chiyuki and an old woman who just died. They play a card game called Old Maid. Each card is personalized with the old woman's drawings. She was an artist. She finishes the game first and realizes she's dead when she sees her last unfinished drawing. Chiyuki holds the Joker at the end, so she technically loses. But the old woman says the Joker is the strongest card, so maybe Chiyuki won. While looking at the cards, Chiyuki remembers her own death. She was a figure skater who got injured and fell into depression. Even though her mom supported her, she felt alone and took her own life. Daisum makes her a drink and lets her sleep. Meanwhile, another soul is judged, a girl named Mayu. She gets the void. She is told she can press a button to send a boy she barely knows, Haruta, to the void instead of herself. She refuses to do it. She can't save him, but she also can't sacrifice him. In the end, she chooses to go with him. Now it's time to judge Chiyuki. Daikam decides to do something different. She wakes up in her old house. Her mother is there crying because of her death. But Chiyuki cannot speak to her. She's already dead. Daikam tells her if she presses a button, she'll return to life, but someone else will die in her place. Chiyuki wants to go back, but she can't accept the cost. She refuses. Her choice deeply affects Daikam. He cries for the first time. It turns out everything was just an illusion, part of the judgment. He apologizes for putting her through it. He decides she deserves reincarnation. At the end, he sends her off with a warm smile. Then he creates a mannequin that looks just like Chiyuki, so he'll never forget her. Subscribe and like. See y'all.